Welcome to episode 22 of Cougars on Cougars. This is Jess. I'm Mary. Happy to be here as always. We wanted to start out with a reminder to enter our contest.
Yes.
We are giving away a signed BYU Football. It has been signed by Tanner Mangum, the Warner Brothers, Johnny Linehan, just a cute little BYU Football. And what you need to do to enter that contest is send us pictures of your children's artwork. Throw up a couple examples here of some stuff we've gotten, but you have another week to get that to us.
BYU Football related.
So, yes, BYU Football related children's
Cougs
art.
on Cougs@gmail.com or at
Tweet
Cougs on
us
Cougs on
or
Twitter.
post on our Facebook wall.
Yeah.
So we're going to get started with our quote of the week. What do we got?
This is from Jerry Rice. He says, "Today I will do what others won't, so tomorrow I can accomplish what others can't."
Gotta love those off-season quotes. So
Still a long time before the off season is
I
over.
know.
It's June 14th, so we gotta wait.
So we do have a lot going on Talk of the Town this week. So even though it's off-season, there was a lot of news. Kind of breaking news. So first, we're going to start with, we hired a new strength and conditioning coach.
For basketball.
For basketball, Yep. We found out Bobby Medina was leaving a few months ago. They did interviews a couple weeks ago, and they hired someone really quickly. His name is Eric Shork, and he is coming to BYU from St. Louis, the St. Louis Billikens. You've probably heard of them before. They have been in the tournament the past few years. A dangerous 12 seed one year, I remember. Anyway, so he was with them, the head strength and conditioning coach there. He's been there since 2007. Prior to that, he worked at Wright State and the Ohio State, and he did some work with on the professional level with the Buffalo Bills. So he's been around. He's a master of strength and conditioning, which is a title that they give people in that profession, and it's like the highest thing you can achieve. So he seems really seasoned. He's got the accolades. He looks really good on paper, so we will see if that translates. Not sure if there's an LDS connection or if he knows anything about getting missionaries back into shape. But
that's going to be the challenge.
Yeah.
I'm sure they talked about that, and
that's
he's
got
up
to
to
be
it.
main point of the interview process, right?
Yeah,
so
a bunch of missionaries
coming
off that need to get ready for
Got to be
season.
an exciting new challenge for him. So welcome, Eric Shork, and we're excited to see how that goes.
Other big news this week is that Payton Dastrup is finally home.
Yes! We've been waiting for our team to be complete. Here it is.
Yeah, he's back. So there's a nice picture of him with his family.
Yeah, and he tweeted that out, so.
Yeah, he seems to be back on the Twitter game already.
Yeah.
And he should be here this weekend because spring term or summer term starts on Monday.
Yeah,
so
quick turnaround. I think he gave his farewell address
on
Sunday, so, homecoming, not farewell.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness, yeah.
Welcome home, Peyton. We're excited, even more excited.
I think the last missionary to come home, though, is going to be Zach Frampton from Lone Peak.
Zach. Sorry,
so
Zach.
I think he's still got a little bit more.
One
Probably
more
July,
missionary.
I think.
We'll keep you posted on that.
Yeah.
Next, we have new game day shirts. So this was from the BYU store. They tweeted this, and the motto is rep the Y or reppin' the Y, and here's what those look like, but you can get those now. So get ready to show up for the home games, and you'll notice they have them in white, blue, and black, going along with what BYU Football is going to ask you to wear to each game. And speaking of that,
BYU Football's been tweeting out what to wear to the games, so the important ones to know is
even away games.
Yeah, so Arizona is wear white.
Uh-huh.
Bless them, because it'll be hot for those of you going. Utah game is going to be royal.
Yeah, and both of those are away games.
Yep, so I'm sure there'll be plenty of BYU fans there, so.
Yeah.
And even us at home,
It's nice. It's cool to
royal.
coordinate. Like, I haven't seen this before, so.
UCLA will be white. That is a home game, so wear white to that one. And then they've announced that homecoming on October 14th against Mississippi State will be royal.
Yeah, and it seems like they've been tweeting those out each day, so look for more, and you can have those to reference when you're wondering what to wear. We don't want to look like Skittles, so follow those instructions and pick up one of those game day shirts, so you should be able to fit the bill with those. So, in other news, it was National Best Friend Day, I think, on Sunday, and for some reason this brought a lot of attention to BYU players in the NFL, I guess.
They're such good friends.
They just make good friends. So the Detroit Lions tweeted out a really cute picture of Kyle Van Noy and Ziggy, and that Lion Pride should be fun to watch this year.
They should be.
Yeah. And then the other one was from the Ravens.
Yep. So we've got Dennis Petta and Joe Flacco here. So
National Best Friends Day. There you go.
Best friends, I guess.
Sticking with football, Ty Detmer tweeted out, he didn't tweet this out, BYU Football Video tweeted out this picture of Ty Detmer throwing touchdowns at Lavelle Edwards Stadium once again, except this time it's over kids who are like 4 feet tall. But it was really cute and still really fun to see him, making those passes in that stadium.
Yeah, that's
a beautiful thing.
Lots of NBA workouts still for Kyle Collinsworth. So this last week it was everywhere. Toronto, and then he was with the Jazz. So
and then he's got a few this week too. I can't remember all of them, but I know he's working out with the Bucks. He's a busy man.
Yeah, so pictures of him at the Utah Jazz camp practice.
Yeah, and then he worked out with the Jazz after Chase Fisher worked out with the Jazz.
Yeah.
So this has been Chase Fisher's only workout. He said that he shot pretty well. We listened to some audio of him afterwards. It's funny because Brandon Taylor kind of made it sound like Chase shot better than Chase made it sound like he shot. So I don't know who's right there, but I mean, Chase was having a good attitude about it, and we hope that went well. I'd love to see Chase get a shot in Summer League. It's a long shot. We probably won't, but it's fun that he had that opportunity.
He'll play somewhere.
In Europe, probably.
Probably.
So also this past weekend, Jimmer Fredette and Whitney Fredette were in town, and they had the All Together shoot around, and they did this as part of the Fredette Family Foundation to raise money for a playground for children, for all children, but mostly accessible for children with disabilities, I believe. So he shot 100 3-pointers, and he made 84. So
and he was
still
disappointed.
A freak, in case anyone was wondering.
Yeah,
like 80, that's 84%. You don't have to be good at math to figure that out, and that's incredible. So we were thinking it'd be fun to see him with the Splash Brothers. I'm just saying, you want someone that can hit threes and has range. He's still got it.
And they raised almost $25,000.
Yeah, which is awesome.
They were also doing a little meet and greet thing.
Yeah.
So our own Jesse Fiesel's son, Jimmer, got to meet Jimmer.
2 of our favorite Jimmers. Jimmer meeting Jimmer. Good stuff.
Yeah. Cute pictures.
Also, speaking of Jimmer, he and Whitney were the marshals, grand marshals of the parade at Summerfest in Orem. So here they are on that float.
Exciting. Then yesterday he was on Sports Nation and told the guys that he will be in a mini camp in Minnesota this week, and he is expecting to be on a summer league team, hopefully playing in the NBA. He told his agent to not even pursue Europe right now until he knows what's happening with the NBA, and that will be not until after summer camp. So he's fully invested in the whole NBA dream still.
Kudos to him. I didn't really know what he was going to do. This was kind of the first I heard of his plans, but good for him for not giving up on the dream, and I hope it works out. I mean,
no, we always do.
You always do, and I know, it's been a few years, but it's just all about finding the right fit, and to be honest, a lot of it is about timing. But if Matthew Dellavedova can make it in the league, then so can Jimmer, and don't tell me any differently.
Dellavedova.
Coach Froze! He was at Bam Bam's. So our friend Ken, who we've had on the show before, works over at Bam Bam's, and he said that Coach Rose met with him earlier today to discuss a home and home with the Ballers. Shout out to the Ballers. But that would be a good mashup.
Marriott Center in 2017, RB in the 2018. That'd be awesome.
Yes, we love that.
And then Brad Wilson, BYU fan, tweeted out, "These 3 great RMs just made my 11-year-old daughter's evening," and it's
I bet they did.
Nick and Eric and TJ hanging out. So that would have made my evening too.
Yeah, it looks like they're out there at Riverwoods, so it's fun to see the Lone Peak 3 just out and about together. Yeah. Just a couple other things. Here's Kalani Sitake and Legos, in case you were wondering what that looked like. So cool.
Pretty impressive. You can actually tell it's him.
I know. It looks exactly like that picture.
And then Kalani and Kyle Whittingham were seen together today. They were playing golf for charity, and there's a nice little picture of them hanging out at the table together.
Said rivalry bromance.
So, for sure. I'm sure it'll be a lot more friendly, but
yeah, they golfed. They had like a golf tournament of some sort today, and our coaches lost, which sucks. But better to lose in golf.
They should have taken Taysom. Apparently Taysom's good at golf, so.
What isn't he good at?
Come on.
Anyway, that's what we've got.
We want to bring in a new segment. This is called Cougar Confessions. So I got thinking about this last week. I think I was listening to Sports Nation, and they were talking about a certain game. And I realized as I was listening that I never saw this game. And being like a huge BYU fan like I am, like That's shameful. So the game I'm talking about is actually BYU versus Nebraska this last season.
Season opener.
Yeah, season opener. So what happened? We were in St. George. You know, I think it was over Labor Day weekend, right?
Yeah.
So we had my cousin's wedding reception. A bunch of family was in town. Of course, it's right during the game. So we ended up watching the first quarter at my grandparents' house, and then we had to leave. So I saw the first quarter, and the rest of the time, you know, we're with family. We're sort of like checking the ESPN updates and stuff. My brother texted me, because he wasn't there. He was texting me during it, and he's like, Taysom just got hurt. He's out in the locker room. And I was like, haha, so funny. Like, rude, right? Yeah, I didn't realize till later that he was actually serious.
Yeah, serious.
When we were checking up the things, and Tanner's in. Anyway, so we're like huddled around at the very end, like watching the little game cast thing.
Yeah, on your phone.
And luckily I had a friend, Brookie, thank you, who was texting me what was happening at the very end. So I'd seen the highlights a million times. I saw what happened, you know, the whole fallout and everything, but I had no idea how the game actually went
got there
after the first quarter. So Mary knows I watched the game finally on Friday.
It was fantastic.
It was such a good game.
Yeah.
I was dying. I knew how it ended, but the whole time I was like, how on earth are we going to win? Like,
we were saying you could make a movie out of just that game, or you could make a movie out of just the fourth quarter of that game.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So one of the things I didn't realize when I was watching it is how long Taysom played.
I know.
It was interesting.
He was
going
a
back.
champion.
Yeah, because you know he gets hurt after that one touchdown in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Right? He plays the rest of the game until the very beginning of the fourth quarter.
It just breaks your heart. Because
it does, and he was playing so well.
He played great.
He did, until he throws that interception, and after that you can tell it's getting to him, and it's getting worse and worse till eventually he just has to come out. But in comes Tanner, and it's this amazing story, and he's so sharp going in there. He looks so like thin.
Cool.
Like he just cut off his mission. It's so weird.
Don't expect him like that anymore. I know.
Anyway, so all the drama and everything, I had no idea until this last
That's a pretty
weekend.
Major confession, though. I mean, that is one of the historic. I think it was just an instant classic.
It totally is.
But I'm glad that you got to enjoy it again, and that I got to enjoy it again through you. I was like through her texts, freaking out and getting nervous again, even though I knew what happened.
I was like texting her what's happening.
Yeah.
Like, okay, 45 seconds. I'm like, how are we we're on the 20-yard line and we have 45 seconds.
I'll let my confession go along with this one, and I have more for another time. But mine will be that I accepted defeat. Well, that's not even a confession. I think most Cougar fans had accepted defeat with a minute or so left in that game.
Yeah.
It was just over. I mean,
which of course it was.
You reached the point in the game where it's just over, and there's no coming back unless it's a miracle.
You know, I was listening to Greg Rebel too.
Yeah,
and he's even saying, oh, this one slipped away. It's too bad.
So that's what I'm thinking. And I remember I had to be tweeting the score for KUTV, and I had a tweet all typed up about the final score and saying that we had lost. And then Tanner threw that touchdown pass to Mitch, and I couldn't even compose a new tweet because I was bawling. I just, I was standing up and I, crumpled to the floor and just started crying. Because between Taysom getting injured and Tanner coming in and all of the drama and accepting that we were losing, so much so that I was ready to press send on that tweet, I just lost it. I can't remember the last time I was crying that much. It was just really emotionally overwhelming for me.
Of course, and then I watched the Inside BYU Football after.
Oh my gosh, where Mitch hugs Taysom. I'm going to cry right now.
I know, I'm sorry. So, two things from that game. One was that I'm so excited we have Taysom back, because that would have been so terrible if that was his last time in a BYU jersey. So, really glad he's back. And then also Tanner. I mean, what a revelation he was from that point on for the rest of the season. And he's back too. So
yeah, sometimes the best way to get into it is to just get thrown into the fire. And he just has that weird X factor where he responds like a champ in those situations. So with those two on our team, it makes you real excited. Huh?
So that will not be happening again. I'll make sure I watch all of these games. Right after they happen, at least. If not in real time, because that's what I love to do.
Yeah.
So the other one I thought of was that I never saw Jimmer's game against Utah where he dropped 47 points.
Really?
Yeah, I saw the halftime, the shot right before halftime where he nails it from half court.
Yeah.
Saw that a ton.
Dude, when stuff conflicts with BYU sports, it's like my worst nightmare. But anyway, those are some of our confessions, so let us know some of yours. We can have you come on to talk about them, or you can just tweet it to us and we'll retweet it. So
we know you have some.
We all do.
We want to hear them.
We have joining us Robby McCombs. Hi, Robbie. Welcome back to the show.
It's always good to be on. Thanks for having me.
Robbie was our first guest, I think. So we'll link to some of our other episodes that we've done. Yeah. But his Twitter handle is at RT McCombs. We'll throw that up there for you. And he is a basketball correspondent for Rivals, has done some stuff for ESPN 960, and he is joining us from Las Vegas tonight.
We just did a segment about Cougar Fan Confessions. So we wanted to start by asking you, Robbie,
what is yours?
Do you want to confess something to us?
Confess. I guess the first thing that comes to mind, I remember, I think, is the 2007 BYU-Utah game. And that's kind of known as the 4th and 18 game. And this is the one time I actually prayed during a football game. I usually try to keep it separate, but I remember that right before that 4th and 18 play, before Maxwell threw obviously that pass to Austin Collie, I just prayed, like, hey, I don't know if I'm supposed to do this, just please let BYU beat Utah, get this first down. And sure enough, BYU got the first down, won the game. So
oh boy.
I don't want to say BYU won because of my prayer, but I mean.
Well,
I'm sure you weren't the only one.
Hey, praying. Maybe we haven't beat Utah for so long because you stopped doing that. So, I mean, if you want to try it again this season.
Yeah, I'll bring it back this year. I'll see what happens.
Hopefully we won't need it.
Just kidding. Season. We're not encouraging you.
Also, that's hilarious. Yeah, Utah again, but if we need it.
Yeah, it's
desperate time, call for desperate measures, as they say.
That's a pretty good one.
So that is a great one. Anyway, the main reason we wanted to have Robbie on was to talk about some big news that happened in the BYU Hoops world last week, and it floored me. I don't know about you guys. Didn't see it coming, which is weird. I didn't see it coming because the circumstances make sense. But anyway, Jordan Chatman is transferring. That is another guard who is transferring. So, Robbie, kind of explain those events to us.
Yeah, so obviously, like you said, Jordan Chatman, he's graduating. He's graduated from BYU in 2 years. Super impressive, obviously. He'll be a redshirt sophomore this upcoming season. So if he does indeed go to a new school, he'll have 3 years of eligibility. But yeah, he wants to go to law school. He has obviously bigger and better things he wants to do with his life. So, well, he wants to play basketball somewhere else and go to law school simultaneously. Who knows if someone will let him do that. But just the ramifications for BYU, obviously Jordan wouldn't have started, but I'm sure as most people figure the biggest thing will just be depth. As of right now, BYU has 4 scholarship guards, and usually BYU likes to start 3 guards at one time. And so it's going to be interesting. I'm sure BYU will add someone else, but we'll get to that in a second. But just right now, who else can play the wing? Maybe you put Yoeli Childs. I mean, you could put Jacob Hartzell could shoot, but you can't really defend anyone out there. It's another problem. So as of right now, BYU starters are great. If you run with Haas, Emery, and Elijah Bryant, sophomore and freshman, like very high talent. So I think they're not to play a lot of minutes regardless if BYU adds another guy or not. And just cross your fingers. Hopefully they don't get injured, or if you get foul trouble, then BYU's going to be a lot of trouble just because of the way BYU relies on guards.
Yeah, we're going to have more bigs than guards, but it was just really strange the way it kind of all unfolded, too, because what happened was that his dad tweeted and he was all excited Jordan got into the law school, and we all know he wanted to go to law school, and we all thought he was crazy because, I mean, it's crazy to graduate in 2 years. It's crazy to try, and you're not even supposed to have a job when you're a 1-year first-year law student. So, yeah, I mean, we thought he was crazy, but just we were running with it. So his dad tweets that he got accepted. And then 3 hours later, who was it that broke it?
I think BYU sent a press release.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, that same evening, 3 hours later, he's transferring. So, what?
Yeah, it was odd timing. Maybe after he got accepted, maybe the law school said, hey, by the way, you can't play basketball at the same time. I'm sure he would have known something about it before, so it is kind of odd. Who knows what's going on, behind the scenes, but who knows, maybe he'll end up staying at BYU, going to law school and not doing basketball because he probably doesn't have a basketball career in his future, so maybe he just wants to focus on law school. So, but either way, I don't think we expect to see Jordan Chatman play the BYU again.
Yeah, which is probably, I mean, it's smart for him if that's what he wants to pursue as a career in law. That's great. But I think it's just kind of disconcerting, too, to see we've had a lot of transfers lately. I mean, over the past year,
Scholarship transfers.
we've seen a scholarship transfer. So Jake Toulson, Corey Calvert, and Cooper Ainge. I mean, you have to kind of wonder what gives, and we really are wanting one of those guards back right about now. So Jake, we know already transferred to UVU. I don't really think Cooper is playing, but I was kind of wondering about Corey because we haven't heard where Corey is going. So part of me is like, can Corey please come back and give us some? I mean, I just want at least one more guard to be able to come off the bench.
Who knows the system already?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what Corey's plans. As far as I know, he's just kind of chilling at home in Colorado right now. I mean, he could go somewhere maybe because he left because I think he kind of saw the writing of the wall with lack of playing time.
That's not there anymore.
If he was here next year, with the way it stands now, he'd probably be the first guard off the bench. So I don't think he comes back if he already left. That'd seem a little strange to me. But I mean, you never know. But I wouldn't count on him. And we could talk about potential people coming in. And BYU's never added a basketball grad transfer before.
No, we
I know Dave Rhoda said publicly that's something they kind of shy away from. They did recruit a couple last year, but they didn't get me. But one that's been spoken on Twitter, LJ Rose, he's a guard at Houston, and his dad was a teammate with Coach Rose on the Houston basketball team. So that's the connection there. He's a point guard. He sat out this past year. He got injured, only played 5 games. So he does have some injury history, but he's going to visit BYU, I think, next week. He already visited Wichita State. So he's the most likely, but he's the biggest name out there. I think BYU's going kind of all in on him, hoping LJ Rose comes.
In my opinion, we need at least one more guard, and 2 would be wonderful. But, I mean, I think at this point we will be lucky to get 1. So I think we should all kind of be crossing our fingers for LJ Rose because that just seems like the best for everyone involved, and hope he doesn't get injured again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a terrific passer. In the American Conference, he averaged about 5 assists a game. He was one of the – and in a slow it down system, so at BYU, an up-tempo system, I think he'd be really good there. But yeah, Stephen Bayo, he just got a scholarship. I think he's going to be really good. I think he had a scholarship offer in Washington his sophomore year and Boise State. So he's a really good scorer. I think he's going to be relied on. He's going to have to come up big. I think he could be really good. But yeah, I think they're going all in LJ Rose. And I think the coaches do feel good about their chances landing him just because of the connection Dave Rose has to his dad and because of the amount of playing time he will get. He'd get 25-plus minutes a game.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think there's a good chance BYU lands him, and if they don't get him, then just kind of see what else is out there.
He's a point guard, though, right? I mean, that's one of the things we don't really need is another point guard.
Yeah, he is another point guard. He's not a great shooter, but he's a really good distributor. He can really get to the basket. But I mean, I think all the other 3 guards between Elijah, TJ, and Nick, I think they can all play point guard. They can play the 2 guard as well, so they are versatile. But I mean, he's a experience. It's probably the best option BYU has feasibly at this point. You know, he's a point guard. Maybe it's not ideal. Maybe you don't want a 3, someone that Zach Sellius type of role. But I know he's in Iowa.
I'm gonna start crying. I'm gonna go get him from Iowa.
Yeah.
We need him now more than ever. So I don't know. I'm hoping that we can see Yoli kind of fulfill that wing position out of necessity. He can shoot from outside, and hopefully he can improve upon that. But it's not the end of the world, but it's looking a little dire. So that's kind of the situation there. Okay. All right.
Thanks, Robbie. We appreciate you coming on. That's all for this week. What's coming up next is we have 2 tracksters that qualified for the Olympic trials.
Which is amazing.
So this last week at Nationals in Eugene, Oregon, Shaq Walker and Shea Collinsworth each took 3rd place in the 800 meter. Awesome. First team All-Americans for both of them, and they will both be competing in the Olympic trials in July.
Yes, congratulations to them and for BYU Track for making a good showing and for having awesome uniforms.
It was cool to see that Sailor Coug logo on ESPN.
It's so cool. Also, the MLB draft happened last week, so we just wanted to mention we had a few Cougs get selected. Brennan Lund was drafted by the Angels, Mike Rucker by the Chicago Cubs, Peyton Henry by the Milwaukee Brewers, and D.C. Clausen by the Yankees. So congratulations to all of them. Always fun to see Cougars taking it to the next level.
Our sponsors this week are brought to you by Hype, all off-season long.
And buy Cougar emojis coming soon to a keyboard near you.
Exciting.
May you always stay loyal to the white and blue. For Jess, I'm Mary. We'll see you next week.